Hello everyone, and welcome back to my car. What you are going to look at today is the rear fog lamp. Now, if you have seen my other video, the one where I explain all the controls inside the cabin, you have probably seen the switch for that. This is a rear fog lamp, and this is mandatory in Europe. You have to have one, at least one. If you have one, it must be either in the center of the car or on the side where the driver sits. So on UK cars you will find this on this side, of course. On left-hand drive cars you will find it on this side. This is a Hella unit, quite common item. You can find it online everywhere. On Amazon, and this is the type. This is not the original that was put on my car. Same product, same type, same look. The one that was on my car, they did an awful job, of course, as in every modification they did. So the glass was all cracked here around the screws, so I had to replace it. But in any case, this is the look that you will find on, I think, 90% of the Beetles sold in Europe. Now, this is activated when your lights are on, because you don't need to activate that without your headlamps being on. So, to do that, they put a splice here on this. You can see that, okay? This striped cable, the white and black one. This turns on when you switch your low beams on. So they put a splice here. I have used this Y connector. They use a Scotch type, the little thing that clamps around the wire that cuts it through the insulation. I don't know if you know that, but I use this kind of arrangement because it's more practical, and I can disconnect the rear fog lamp just by pulling this connector here. Can be disconnected if you need to work on that. And you need to put a fuse here. This is an inline fuse holder. I use this type because so I can use the torpedo-like fuses, the Bosch fuses they are called, and they are the same as in the main fuses box. This car uses here modern type of fuse. This is just the only one in this car, so I carry a spare. This is for the fuel system. This is the relay tray for the fuel and injection system. And this inline fuse is your best safety, because this yellow cable goes through the switch. This is the switch, the one you see with the red connector, and then this black cable goes all the way back to the car to power that light. So if you don't have a fuse here, as this comes from the headlight switch and is the unfused side, you will have an unfused cable go the whole length of the car, and that of course is a fire hazard. This is a quite simple improvement. You can just cut the cable, you screw in the terminals, you clean that up, them up of course, you screw in the terminals, you put the fuse in, and that's all. It's working right now. This is the system as it is. I will now close the carpet. Okay, that's good. Okay, clean. Let's close the hood. Okay, and now we go back inside the car, and I will show you how it works. Sorry, I have to turn the music down. Okay, now if you have seen my other video, you know this is the headlights switch. Now it's off. And you can see the rear fog lamp switch is not lightened up, is not illuminated. So push here, first click. These are city lights, and is not on either. If I push the second position, click, now I have my low beams on. You can see the Euro pattern and the switch is on. If I pull the switch out, you can see it illuminates more. You cannot see very well because of the flash, of course, but it is now fully lightened up, and you can see in the back, sorry, the back rear fog lamp is on. This is in order for others to see you when you are in the fog, and I find it also useful because it gives me the right distance to park the car in the garage. Okay, that's not the main use. I will show you now the harness for that. You can see this is the cable. You can see there is an inline fuse here also. This was the only one first, but it's not enough because this protects from here down to the lamp. But you need to protect also this cable, this black one, that comes from the front. So you need the fuse up front. This one is redundant. I left that here because due to the presence of it, I didn't have enough length of cable to connect. I could use a connection or other kind of such, but in any case, I already had this, so I left it here in place. And this is the cable. It comes through together with the main harness from here. Again, a shot of the light, and we now are going to turn it off. Okay, you can see now, if I look back, you can see the effect that makes on the back of my garage. Okay, let's turn it off. If I turn it off, I push it in. You can see that the light on the switch gets dimmer, and now it's off. If I keep it on and switch off the low beams, it comes off too. Okay? I switch low beams back on and it comes on again. Hope that's clear. This is an arrangement that you're going to find on pretty much every Beetle, as I told you before, sold in Europe. Every Mexican Beetle sold in Europe in the 90s, and the only difference I've seen around is that some of them have the switch here, some of them here have the immobilizer fob, the later model. This is a 97 model. Later models here have the immobilizer fob, so they couldn't put a switch here, they put them here. I don't know why mine is here. It could have been here, maybe it was more visible here, but they put it there. This is a place where normally you find accessory switches, or for example a cigarette lighter, such. These are the two places. I've seen Beetles with cigarette lighters here and fog lamp here, with the alarm fob here, the fog lamp here, or the cigarette lighter here. In any case, this was done by the importer, so there is really not a stock configuration. The same importer tended to do the same way on all his cars. I know other cars which are like mine, brought in Europe by the same importer, and they have the switch in the same place. I've seen others with the switch in other places, and so on. But this is pretty much all. As I told you in the other video, in the interior video, this switch is a Hella switch, is a common Hella switch, push. You can find it again online everywhere. You just search for two-position illuminated switch. It comes with 3 solid colored caps: red, orange, amber, or green. For the rear fog lamps in Europe, you have to use amber as a color of the illuminated icon. And this cap is not a stock one. This is a Porsche part actually, and is used on 911s, late 80s 911s, but it fits the Hella cap perfectly. This cap is made of rubber. You just unscrew it with a chopstick or soft piece of wood. You help yourself and you hit a bit with your hand and the cap pops off. It's held in by the rubber and you can switch it, no problem. Okay, hope everything is clear. Again, I stress the importance of having a fuse on this side of the system before the switch, so the whole system is protected from the fuse. If you find just the fuse in the back, that's not enough. You need to have a fuse here at the front, just after the connection behind this switch. Hope that's clear, and see you next time.